What's up, Ryan? How are you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to try and share this away in some groups right now because we're giving away a free sales boost ticket.
Yep.
Um,
It's exciting.
that is exciting and nothing like free for a ton of value, but I want to make sure that a bunch of these crazy entrepreneurs like ourselves have an opportunity to get out to sales boost. I know it's changed my life forever since 2019. And I want to make sure that everybody else has an opportunity to show up and be a part of it.
Yeah, I know it was huge for us when we went. We went the first time we went. We took our salesman and then me and Brett, and it was amazing the amount of information we walked away with. It was crazy. The connections too you make, with people is always phenomenal as well.
Heck yeah! When did you go? What year?
21, I think.
I was there, right?
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, because I've been 3 times. So, yeah, I'm excited to. That's 3 weeks away. Literally 3 weeks from today, everybody will be coming into Wilmington, North Carolina, to experience Sales Boost. So here we are. Let me share this away, and we'll start talking to everybody. What's new, man? What's new down in Florida or Atlanta? I know it's windy over here.
Yeah, it's windy. It's been raining. It's just a bad storm just came through, and it's starting to storm a little bit again. So it's been a fun day.
Yeah. Well, good deal. I know we're you, myself, and Brett. We're headed to Colorado next week to talk about Beyond the Bulbs and get some mastermind group going that, so we can get people signed up again this year for Beyond the Bulbs and help grow their Christmas light business.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's it's one of those things. The thing is, like, everybody wants to grow the company, but they all think about it come like May or June. And it's like, but what should you be doing right now? Like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, every day we're working right now. We're working on a commercial bid right now. We're just literally, me and Bro were just talking about it with our account executive, and she's working on it. And it's about an hour and a half away, but it's a city. And then we just had a church we were bidding this week for like $34,000. So like there's a lot of commercial bids going on right now that people need to be thinking about. It's this time of year that they don't think about it, but that's when all the commercial bids are thinking about it. So.
And that's why I love, and part of the reason why we started Beyond the Bulbs was to get people set up for success year round. And for years, it's always been the vicious cycle. Let's think about Christmas in July. We'll do some advertising, really get excited about it in September, start hanging lights in October. We'll take the lights down in January and put the whole business model, everything on the shelf with the lights until July. And then you have 7 months of just stagnant doing nothing. So why not implement just small little things here and there to generate some commercial leads, get some residential awareness going. Like we've got a large city job that's, I think it's about an hour and 45 minutes away, that we had the opportunity to go bid because of an email we sent out a month and a half ago. So we want to be proactive in getting people aware because they got to move budgets and they got to do some things. Yeah, here we go. But for whoever's joining us, we're going to be giving away a free ticket to Sales Boost. So if you can go, we want to see you there. Go ahead and comment Sales Boost in the comments. There we go. We got a first person in there. So let's get some more people signed up, and we'll talk about that, give away a free ticket at the end of this call. So I'm excited. I just want to share this into the Clipper group because that's a good group to talk about Christmas lights.
Definitely.
So how was your season last year?
Good. It was a good season. Wish we would have had another crew going. Had a little hiccup in the office, and we've I thought they were reaching out to some of our past clients, and they kind of dropped the ball on it. We did, and then they dropped the ball, and then we realized a little late, and we were able to pivot. But what it did is it didn't allow us to bring out an extra crew leader and another truck earlier than we wanted to, and because of that, so we still got to do all the jobs we needed to do, but it pushed back the season, so we didn't add as much new business. So we still grew, but not as much as we wanted to. But that's sometimes what happens in business, and so you pivot and you adapt and you fix what needs to be fixed, and that's kind of growing pains.
And I think that's a huge part of what I've been trying to do lately for last year is just show people, like, despite what you think you see, a very successful company like yourself and Brett's, we still have growing pains. We still have issues that we grow through, even though we think we have everything in line and have all the SOPs and the business processes lined out. That things happen. We lose focus. We lose sight of things. We're trying to do so many things at once. We're crazy entrepreneurs. We have entrepreneurial seizures all the time. Like Victor Rancourt told Angela and I a couple weeks ago. I love that entrepreneurial seizure. Like, I'm going to do new business today. And then, something gets 100% of our attention and the other thing gets like 20% of our attention. So things start falling off. So it's good to have those checks and balances in place to help identify those or prevent them from happening sooner. Unfortunately, it happened a little too late with you guys, but you're able to still adapt and overcome and have an incredible season last year.
Oh yeah, we still did. I mean, and the thing is like I always tell people, JC, is like a failure is not a bad thing. It just means what you did didn't work, and you get to try again, right? So we learned from it. We had a debrief at the end of the season, and we found out where the holes were. We worked on plugging them. We do the EOS model, so we have our leadership meeting every Wednesday morning. And so now our to-dos and our rocks and stuff are all about the stuff we need to fix. And it wasn't just that. There was other stuff too we knew we needed to fix. Every year you keep leveling up, right? And so it's like every year you level up, and so the stuff you have to work on is different than the stuff you had to last year. And so it's one of those things. So that's what we're doing now. And so we're being purposeful about what we're doing, and we're not just saying, oh, we hope it changes and don't do anything. We're actively making the changes so it doesn't happen again. And so what can we do, to make that so and be more successful?
Awesome, man. Well, good on you. You guys built an incredible brand down there. Lights all year. I love the name, love the branding. I know you guys are really focused on that with the Christmas lights and the landscape lighting too. You guys were down over in where'd you go? Tampa?
Yeah,
Tampa?
Ryan Lee.
Yeah, good old Ryan Lee, Landscape Lighting Live, all light. I hope I did that right. He's gonna sue me for copyright infringement on that. But Ryan Lee, man, he just puts on an incredible class, gets you excited. I mean, when I went last year with Patrick, I knew enough about business. I knew a little about landscape lights, but he talked a lot about business, and he got me fired up and to look at things differently. And that's why it's important to get out to these trade shows, these paid events, and all these things, because we may think we have it all perfect, all right, but we really don't, because it's all we know. And if we're doing the same thing over and over and over, and we're not seeing the results we want to see, well, it's probably because we're doing something wrong, and we need to figure out how to be better at that. So,
yep. No, I agree. It was awesome. We took myself, our ops manager, and our salesman, and we learned a wealth of knowledge. I won the big giveaway, the display box from one of the vendors and stuff. So that was pretty cool. So I mean, it was an awesome time. And I've known Ryan for a while and been involved with him and stuff. But we finally pulled the trigger to go. We tried to go last year when you went. And I literally was contacted him, and he's like, yeah, there's 2 tickets left, whatever. So I was like, okay, let me talk to Brett. And I got busy with my son, and then I messaged him back, and he's like, it's sold out. And I was like, dang it, because I got busy with my kids, So, but it is what it is, I mean, it worked out better because we got to take all 4 of us this year. So
the timing
we're pushing the gas on the landscape lighting this year a lot. And my salesman has been out reaching out to past clients and, trying to drum up work, and we're trying to build a referral network and stuff. So we're really trying to push that right now, as we're still doing the Christmas lights and stuff. Like I talked about, we're not focusing on that either, but we're really pushing the landscape lighting right now. So
awesome. So for everybody who's joining us right now, let us know if you're doing landscape lighting, Christmas lighting. How was your season last year, 2023? Was it the success you were hoping for? I know ours was, but also wasn't. It was an ugly win for us, to say the least. I mean, we hit a goal, but it wasn't pretty getting through the finish line. So we learned a lot. This year, we're going to be changing the way we do things, our marketing, and the clients that we're going after for. But it was just like you said something about earlier about failing, and I did a post the other day. It's, you only fail when you quit, and none of us are quitters. So we may have mistakes, we may learn from things, but until you actually quit, you're not actually failing. So, and I don't think anybody's listening to this is a quitter, because if you are, well, you probably would be listening to this. You'd probably be on the couch eating bonbons and Funyuns, and watching vampire movies. But
it's fail forward, you've always failed forward, and so you don't fail backwards until you quit. And that's
right.
That's the difference. So
That's right. You can always learn from mistakes, and everybody's made mistakes. So you can't show me one person in this world that hasn't made a mistake and learned from it. So,
Well, you learn
um,
more from the mistakes than you do the. And honestly, like you look back over the times, and I've heard this from so many entrepreneurs. I'm sure you have too, JC. Is it's not the times that are like we've talked about it where you hit $1 million in your first year and stuff like those are great, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, I did it. But you actually look back and you look at the trials and when it's tough, and that's when you're like, that's where I grew, that's where leveled up, and that's where I became better. It's not hitting $1 million that made you better. It's all the trials that you had before that, the failures that made you better than that. So you look back, those are the times you remember, really.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, what else is going on? How's You said you got the landscape lighting you guys are bouncing off on right now, trying to get that
Yeah.
going.
Yep. It's going good. It's going good. I mean, this time of year it's a little slow. So we're getting all of our marketing in place and literally getting everything going and trying to reach out to past clients and just really trying to get that dialed in. So we're ready to go. We rejoined, I guess, Ryan Lee's coaching program for his landscape lighting. So that's been going good. So yeah, so just really putting our foot on the gas on that. So we really want to be a like all around lighting company. That's our goal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so much potential throughout the year to keep your guys busy in the landscape lighting and Christmas lighting, and also the event lighting. It just makes sense to figure out a way to segue instead of just hanging up the lights in January with the Christmas lights. Why not find a way to implement what you've already learned and be able to apply that to keeping yourself busy year round? There's a couple things that benefit from that. One, extra revenue throughout the year, so you're adding revenue for about 8 more months of the year. And two, you can employ some of those seasonal guys, turn them to full-time guys, and keep them busy throughout the season. So you're not having to let them go in January and then try and rehire new guys over and over and over in September, because that gets hard. It gets hard
Yeah.
to find
Oh, yeah.
quality installers that perform at an A level that only want to work for 4 months out of the year.
And most of all of our staff that has done the landscape lighting installation, they love it.
Yeah.
They love doing it. They're like, this is awesome. This is amazing. They're like, it's like what you've done the Christmas lights. You're like, oh, this isn't bad. Like, so it's good. I mean, they all love it. We love doing it. It's another fun service to do. People love landscape lighting. Like, they get it done and they can see it, and it's like, okay, that's great. Like my house looks awesome at night. They get to still see it. There's still that emotional connection, I feel like, with the landscape lights when they see it.
So you're a national trainer for Clippa. You've done
Yep.
a ton of different trainings across the United States. Trained thousands of different businesses on how to install Christmas lights. So you have a really good understanding for the Christmas lighting. You've done landscape lighting for a few years. You guys had a bunch of installs under your belt, previously.
Yep.
So why would somebody want to go to a training when they've got experience doing something like that? I mean, what's the point for me to go do it if I've done 100 jobs? Like, I already know everything, right? Like, there's nothing you can teach me. There's no reason for me to go because I know it all and my business is perfect. So why would somebody want to go to a landscape lighting training or a Christmas light training or an event with training involved in it?
Good. Yeah, dude, I get asked this all the time. And you know what I say? Is people always ask me that, and they're like, why do you need a coach? Do you think Michael Jordan would be who he was without a great coach behind him? Honestly. No, the coach held him to be accountable, and we get blinders on, right? Like we're looking at our business like this, and we can't see from above. A coach will sit back and give a non-emotional decision to you and tell you like, hey man, this isn't right, this isn't what you need to be doing. And that's a coach. But like, if you want to go to actual training and stuff, we've had people in our Clippa trainings that have been hanging lights for 10 plus years, and I'm like, why'd you decide to come? You've been hanging lights. Like, they're like, well, I just seen what you guys have been doing. It seems like you really know what you're doing, and I figured if I joined, I could, and I come to a training, if I could learn one or two things, then it's worth it to me. So they see the value in it, and most of them came up to me afterwards, like, dude, I never knew that you could do this or this. They're like, if I go and implement that, that's going to save me tons of time and money. And they're like, oh my gosh, I never knew that, because a lot of them weren't around the groups. They weren't going to the trainings. They weren't going to the shows. They weren't going to things where they can learn from other installers. And so once you surround yourself with those kind of people, like just the let alone that aspect of it, but then the networking as well. I mean, most of I know for me and you, most of our good friends are other business owners. And so now we have that network that we can rely on. If I have a question, I'm going to call JC. Hey, dude, you ever come across this? No, okay. Well, hey, actually call Ramon. Ramon, I think Ramon's done that kind of job before. And I'm gonna call Ramon up and talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's that also. But the thing is like you're always learning. Like, and even when I'm going to train people, there's a lot of times I'm training people in Clippa, and people have already been doing lights, and I learned something from them, or I learned something about business because they own another business and they tell me something, and I'm like, I'm gonna mark that down and remember that when we get back to my office, and I'm gonna tell my team we're gonna implement that.
Yeah.
So there's always, you're always leveling up, always learning. I mean, that's the thing. Like, as a dad, I tell my kids that I'm like, you always need to be learning, and I tell them like I'm learning every day, whether it's a podcast, a book, reading stuff online. Like I'm always trying to better myself and move myself forward than I was yesterday. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a reason why the military is so successful at what they do. Because all we do is friggin' train over and over and over again. Like we are experts in what we do, but we consistently train every single quarter, every single month, every single year. We're constantly going back and doing the same thing we already know because repetition, is going to make you more successful and get more efficient, like you said. So it's important that we don't have that mindset of like, well, I don't need to learn anymore. No, you do need to learn more. You do
Yeah.
need to keep up with the times. Things are changing. I mean, just look at 1 year ago prior to AI. Like AI has revolutionized the way we do so much stuff in our business, build out processes, SOPs, videos, scripts, training, like you name it. And for those that are like AI is the devil and I'm not going to get on board with that. Like, well, okay, well then you be in the, in the back and everybody else will be in the front and just continuing to move and stay with the times because guess what? Your customers are using AI, your prospects are using AI, and your competition's using AI. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to get out to these trainings because this is stuff they talk about. They talk about AI, they talk about safety, they talk about PPE, they talk about new equipment out there, they talk
New
about new
trends, yeah.
technology, all these things that we think we know. And even if you become, let's say, I like doing numbers. Let's say you have a 2-man crew and you're doing $2,500 a day with a 2-man crew, and that's the max they can do. Their capacity is $2,500 a day because it's all they know. And now you went to a training and learned a new process to do something, got a tool to get on the roof a little bit safer, and your $2,500 went to $3,000 a day. Well, that's a $500 difference. There's roughly
Capacity.
50 days in Christmas light installation from October 1st to December 15th. So 50 times 500, $25,000 better you're doing because you took the time to go to a 2-day training.
Yep.
Train, evaluate, process, and make necessary adjustments. That's
There
my
you go.
Navy chief right there.
So one thing I was going to say is ask yourself, do you want to be the Blockbuster or do you want to be the Stanley? Everyone knows Stanley right now. Do you know the Stanley thing, what they did? How they came about with their cups they have recently? They did that as a marketing thing, as like, hey, let's just see if this works. And they threw a couple cups out that were like girly colors and it took off. They gave it to an influencer and they paid an influencer to push it out, and the influencer pushed it out and it blew up. And so Stanley's been around for 70 plus years, and they
Yeah.
realized that they made the thermoses that our grandparents had, that they like took their coffee and soup into work, and stuff. And they've been around forever for outdoors people and working people. They pivoted and did that, and now they went from being like a $70 million company, I think. I don't quote me, but it's something like in like the crazy billions now. It's like it's ridiculous what they did. Or you can be Blockbuster, who didn't pivot and go to the portals, like the checkout kiosk, like everybody else did, and they went out of business. Because they didn't decide that they needed to change. They like, no, we'll just keep doing it the same way. Well, now they're out of business.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. Do you want to be the Stanley or do you want to be the Blockbuster?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hold on, comment. This guy said I couldn't comment. Yeah, so whoever's listening, go ahead and comment Sales Boost if you want to attend Sales Boost in March. We're going to give away a free ticket in this call here. But yeah, I mean, we got to stay with the times. We got to get the train. And if we don't, and we just stay stagnant in our business and, just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, well, we're not going to grow. And I've talked to so many guys lately. It just drives me insane. It really does. That are doing the same thing. And I've taught the guys that started their business when I started my business, and they're still a one-man show, owner operator, still can't find employees, still can't grow their company. And it's not, that's what they want to do. It's just, they can't figure it out. They can't break through. They can't get the mindset right to do that. And
That's about what I was about to say. There's one reason. It's all their mindset. That's all it is. That's 100% what it is. I 100% believe it. If your mindset isn't set for you to think that you live in abundance, then if you live in a scarcity mindset, that's all you're going to ever know. You're only going to know what you know, and that's not their fault, JC. They just don't know any different,
Right.
right? And so they haven't had that aha moment where their mindset shifted. And I'm not going to lie, I used to be there. I know you used to be there, JC. I knew you. I like
100%.
like
Yeah.
we've talked about it. Like it's it's just that thing. Like, but once your mindset shifts and you live in a land of abundance and you're not a victim anymore, you have control of everything, right? Like it's all in your control. Like you get to decide. That's the beauty of it. And like if you want to become better, then you can do that. And you just got to go out and learn. There's so many people to learn from. There's a wealth of knowledge out there nowadays.
Yeah. Doug, yeah, sales seems to be our struggle. And it's, you ever look at when you're most stressed in your business? It's usually because sales are just struggling and they're at their lowest. And that was us a couple weeks ago. I can always look back to like the days I'm most stressed and most angry and want to throw things. And it's probably because we're not 2 weeks booked out in the business. And it could be a combination of things. Like we're getting complacent. We're not doing the things we need to do to be marketing, and then we're getting reactive, not proactive. You should be marketing year round. You might want to move those levers a little bit up and down as you're going through the seasons, depending on how busy you are, but we should still be constantly marketing year round and just being relevant and out there reaching our clients, whether it's asking for referrals, whether it's emails, Facebook, social media, yard signs, just go knocking on doors too. Door knocking is not dead. I talked about that earlier with Trevor Steele on his thing. We were at Top Rep, and I forget the numbers he said for this guy, but it was insane the sales he had just from door knocking. That was his only form of marketing. It was just door knocking, and people hate it, but it works.
I had a coach one time that told me a lot of people think like your sales are like this, up down, and they want to make the peaks higher. That's not the goal. The goal is to make the valleys higher, so it goes like this more. But when people market is when they're doing really well and they got tons of work, they wait until it starts falling off to market it. Well, then the sales don't start picking up until over here again. What you need to do is start marketing when it's keep marketing when it's really, really good, and hit the sales really hard while it's really good, and then that's going to make you more like this versus really highs and really lows. And so if you can do that, and honestly, if you start building the right marketing system in your company, you should know like, hey, we get really slow in February. I need to start marketing in January, or maybe even the end of December, right? And so that's the kind of that's what you need to do. And once you figure that out, I mean, sales. I think who said that? Doug. Sales seems to be our struggle. Doug, that's a lot of people, man. And honestly, you want to know something? I was running one of our crews. This was probably 7 years ago now, maybe. And I was running one of our crews, and my first coach told me I was doing a disservice to our company by not getting off the truck because I needed to be in sales full time. And that year, I went to sales full time, and we grew 70%. So it's just one of those things that you sometimes we hold ourselves back and we don't realize it. And so that's what you just got to do that.
I don't know what happened there. It just kicked me out.
Yeah, I saw that.
It did it yesterday when I was off the call with John, and all of a sudden it literally just kicked me out. That was so weird. I don't know what's going on with that. What's up, Cooper? How are you, buddy? Where are you coming from, Cooper? Where are you at? And then let's see, struggling in the phone to ring early this spring. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be different every year. And, you got some people saying it's the economy, some people saying it's election year, whatever, competition's ramping up. There's a variety of reasons why your phone may not be ringing, but you got to consistently be doing that. Make sure you have great SEO. Make sure your Google ads are turned on, Google local service if you have them for the lawn care.
Yard signs.
Yeah, we got to be ahead of everybody else because the competition's out there. They're doing these things. And if you're not doing it, well, their phone's ringing and your phone's not. So it's important to make sure we are doing these things. But yeah, I love sales. Sales are fun. I like Sales Boost. And speaking of Sales Boost, let's talk about Sales Boost.
Yeah.
So what do you mean speaking about a Sales Boost?
So commercial sales, pretty much, it's going to be obviously Christmas lights is huge for us. So I'm going to talk some about Christmas lights, but it's going to be anybody can do this for commercials. What I'm going to tell you. our commercial on our gutter cleaning power washing side, we did tons of apartment stuff just like Pat Clark's done. And so I'm going to talk about how we did that, how we do go about our commercial stuff for Christmas lights, how we pretty much cold call, how our process for that, how we go about it, how do we reach out to them, what do we say, how many times we touches do we do it, and then our follow up, and then how we go about closing the jobs and bidding them and all that. So pretty much from start to finish about how we do the whole commercial process, because I hear from a lot of people, JC, and I'm sure you do too. Hey, I want to get into commercial, but I don't know how. It's kind of like they think of it like, oh, that's huge. I'm not. There's no way I could go bid a $50,000 job, right? Like, yeah, you can. It's okay. You can do it. The biggest thing is it's just all in the logistics side of it. And once you get actually sell it and get to it, but you can't even get to the point to doing it if you don't know how to bid it properly and how to go about and find those clients.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great topic. I mean, commercial is kind of hot right now. Everybody wants to get the commercial. I won't say, people ask like, do you charge more for commercial? Not
Yep.
usually, but your profit margins are usually a little bit higher because you can get a lot
Yep.
more done in a faster period of time. So, I mean, our sweet happy spot for commercial for my guys is like the $18,000 to $22,000 range that we can get done in a day with 7 to 10 guys, and that's just a really nice number to be doing with in a day with those crews, 3 crews usually. So um,
That those jobs are really nice, man. We have a city like that like the guys fight over because we pay production pay, and it's like 20 something thousand, and they can go do it in a day. One crew can do it in a day, and so they all want to do it. So those jobs are super nice. But I mean, also we have the large, big 6-figure jobs and stuff, and those are really profitable as well because, like you said, we're there all day. We're there from 7 to 5 or even longer if they have to work later. There's no driving around. There's no waste of productivity time. They're on property working the whole time, so they can get a bunch of work done. So yes, I tell people sometimes like they get a discount because they sign a multi-year deal. Like we're working on our largest one right now. It's up for bid this year renewal, and so we're working on it. And that's the thing. Like it's a huge job, but like there's so much profit on it. Especially with Christmas lights as well.
yeah, and whether it's washing or lights or lawn or whatever industry it is, like you got to get out there. You got to go door knock. You got to let them know who you are, because at the end of the day, they're just going to go to the first person they see and get three bids. They don't know if they're the best in the industry. They just need to get 3 bids typically. And if you're not on that list, if you're not on the map pack, if you're not on page one, if you don't have your market materials handed to them at the office, then you're missing out on these opportunities to get some great commercial jobs. And
Yep.
you got to put the work in. And I think for my biggest commercial jobs, it took me 3 years to get a yes. And that's the big thing. It's like, don't take a no for a no. Just take a no for, all right, we'll be back and we'll talk to you next year. And my favorite story is this one property we've done for the last 5 years. It was a no. It was a no. It was, we'll only give you $9,000 to, all right, here's a $17,000 contract every single year for the last 5 years. So had I take the no and just walked away and said, all right, I'll never go back here, had I taken her $9,000, estimate or what she told me I'd get and just left it at $9,000, then I would have short myself $8,000 for the last 5 years. $40,000 would have missed out. So, get there, be present, listen, and then just give them everything. Let them tell you no to everything else. But if you just give them the bare minimum, they're going to accept the bare minimum. If you're lawn care, give them the mulching, give them the mowing, give them the flowers, give them everything. If you're the Christmas lights, don't just give them a roof line. Give them the roof line, the ground line, the wreaths, the garland, the works. Give it all. If you're pressure washing, give them the gutters, the concrete, all the stuff, and then let them tell you no and accept what they wanted. But if they don't know, then you're doing them a disservice because they didn't know you offer those services.
Yep. I say go for no. You got to go for no.
Yeah.
And what I always say is, especially with the commercial stuff, is you got to stay top of mind with them, number one, because they might not need your services right now, but in a month from now, their higher up might come in their office and say, hey, guess what? We need the Christmas lights. And they're going to be like, oh crap, there's that company that keeps calling me and emailing me. Where's their information? And they're gonna go and look in the email that you just sent them, and they're gonna be like, hey, oh yeah, lights all year. That's who it is. And so guess what? They're going to send you an email because you're top of mind and you stayed on top of it with them. And they're going to be like, "Hey, we need a bid for Christmas lights." And now they just reached out to you. You know why they reached out to you? Because it was easy.
Yeah.
You made it easy for them. They're not. They're gonna. They those property managers, JC, are busy. The last thing they want to do is be having to call tons of vendors and shop 20 different vendors. If they need 3 quotes, they're gonna find the 3 easiest people for them to reach out to, and they're gonna go and get a quote.
Oh,
Let's just be honest, right?
yeah, that.
Like,
And then half the time it's the regional manager coming in and say, hey, we need this done now. Corporate's coming.
Yep.
Get it done. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Now I got to find that person. Like you said, if they had the email, well, just let me just go put in my email and search for pressure washing, search for Christmas lights, search for
Yep.
whatever. Yeah, Doug, I mean, it's just a great saying. Don't stop. Keep going until they're like physically going to force me off the property and tell me never coming back. Guess what? I'm coming back. But that doesn't mean every time you go back, it's like, hey, I'm JC. I want to hang some Christmas lights. Let me hang some Christmas lights for you. Are you ready for the estimate? Hey, it's JC. I'm back, and I just want to talk to you about Christmas lights. No, go back and say, hey, it's JC. I just want to check in, see how things are going. How's the family doing? Talk about some sports, whatever it is. Don't even talk about business. I was just in the area. I wanted to drop by. I had some donuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say drop off some donuts or something,
Yeah.
or yeah.
Be friendly.
Coffee,
Don't
yeah.
always ask for the sale.
It's the what with Gary Vaynerchuk. It's give give take that his book and stuff, and so that's what it's about. It's you want to give, and then you like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it's one of those things that's that commercial. It's all about your network, building your network, whether it's you want to go after the people that the property managers, or you want to get referral partners, which that's huge as well. You can get referral partners and they can give you jobs because they already have the contracts, and they just call you up and be like, say you're doing pressure washing and that's a painting company, and they'll call you up and be like, hey, we're painting this property and we need you to power wash it. Now they're coming to bring you the contract, and so that's a great thing to get into commercial as well. So there's tons of different avenues to go after that commercial stuff. And so, I mean, I personally, we love commercial stuff. I love doing commercial stuff. I mean, I'd rather sell one $70,000 job than a bunch of $70,000 jobs. So that's just personally, it's one client versus dealing with 70 clients. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then here's the other thing too. Again, all stuff you can learn at Sales Boost, things we talk about. This is just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. But by going out there, getting your name out there, one, you're doing a couple things. You're being marketable because you're out there with the wrap vehicle. You got your uniform on. People see you. They notice you. They see your vehicles everywhere, so they remember the brand. But now you're talking to the possible client. Let's say the client doesn't need it for her property at wherever she works or he works, but they need it for their home, and they're thinking about it, and the wife or the name another kid bugging, like, hey, you gotta get the lights on this year. Yeah, I'll do it later. Blah blah. But now you presented your services to them, like, shoot, I don't need you here, but I need you at home. Or,
it's happening.
hey, you know what? Mike across the street, he's been asking for this. I didn't know who to refer him to. Go talk to Mike. He needs this service done too.
I got I think I told you about it. I know I did actually, JC, but that happened. I was at a commercial bid this year for a city for Christmas lights, and we wound up getting into this top two final bid for the city. It was like a $200,000 bid, and we got in the final two, and the other company got it. But when I was out there bidding it and doing the walk through with all the companies, so there's like 6 of us walking around the property, or 7 of us, and we're walking around the property. After we got done, I was the one asking all the questions. Like nobody else asked any questions. I think one other guy asked like one question. I was asking questions left and right. I'm like, what do you think about this? What about this product? Blah blah blah. This girl comes up to me that was bidding it. She goes, hey, excuse me. She goes, you seem like the most knowledgeable person here. We do interior stuff mostly. I got asked to bid on this by a friend that works for the city, but we do interior stuff mostly, and I don't want to bid on this. But you seem really knowledgeable. We have a property around the corner, about 10 minutes away. Would you be interested in bidding that? It might be like $100,000 bid. And I was like, yeah. I went and bid it. We closed it for $76,000 this year. We did it. We installed it, and she did all the interior stuff. And so like that. Just because I happened to be there, I seemed like I was. Well, she could tell I was knowledgeable. That I knew what I was doing. She was drawn to me. So that sometimes, even if we don't get that bid, it can lead to something else. And so, now we're going to refer her and she's going to refer us. So we made a great connection, going forward. I also told her, I said, hey, if you ever, it doesn't work out here, I said, you're an awesome salesperson. I told her, I said, I'd hire you. So I went around and told her that, and she's like, well, that's awesome to know. So it was just, you never know where you're going to meet people, how it's going to go, or, whatnot. So
Love that, man. Love that. Well, I'm excited to see you at Sales Boost 3 weeks
Yeah.
away. It's gonna be a kicking good time talking about sales, implementing strategies. The good thing about Sales Boost is you can actually implement while you're there. It's going to give you the confidence to raise your prices, to start implementing steps and procedures that these speakers will be talking about. Not only just speakers, but while you're networking with other businesses and figure out how they're doing things. Like you talked about the pay performance. I know a lot of guys want to do that. I'm
Yep.
sure that'll be a good topic to talk about there. It's a good way to help retain your team and pay them at a higher level that they see that they're getting paid for their work, not just a check in the box. It's something we're trying to implement right now, actually.
Yep.
So we're trying to work through that struggle ourselves. But just so many other things. I got a couple more viewers. I'm about to go ahead and do the drawing. So if anybody's listening and want to go to Sales Boost, go ahead and comment Sales Boost in the comments for your chance to win a ticket. Because in about 5 minutes, we'll do a live drawing and just pick some random lucky winner. But only comment if you can go, because we don't want to take away this opportunity for somebody. Because Sales Boost, I mean, it literally changed my life in 2019. I'll never forget. Talked to Pat January. I was like, Pat, you're doing everything I want to do in life and business. Like, what am I doing wrong? He's like, you ever hear of Sales Boost? I'm like, no. He's like, Sales Boost, you got to get there. Come to my shop in 2 months. I'm like, done. I paid $12.97 that day. I booked that ticket. And then he's like, the other thing that really changed my the trajectory of our business was, you ever hear of Conquer? I'm like, what is Conquer? He's like, do it, join it, coaching group. I'll be your coach. It'll change your life. And I literally did. We went from $330,000 to $550,000 in 2019. So over $220,000 of growth in the first year of implementing both those strategies with Conquer and Sales Boost. So I love it. Firm believer. I've been to it 3 times. I've sent my team to it. I'll have my technicians and my sales people at Sales Boost this year. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited too, man. I got a question for you.
What do you got?
Dude, how'd you get such a stellar lineup?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I'm
Like,
still in like still in shock of that. I mean, we got Tommy Mello, David Carroll, Adam McChesney, Megan Likes. This is me just spitting off names off the top without looking at everything. Marvin Salcedo, don't hurt me if I didn't say your name. Mike Andes is probably like the one that I've never heard him speak. Most of the other speakers I've heard
yeah.
speak. Mike Andes, I'm like really, really going to lean into that one and listen to him. I haven't heard Sam speak either. And Sam he makes me laugh every time I talk to him. So I'm really like super, super. And the cool thing about it too is I didn't bring in pressure washing speakers. I didn't bring in window cleaning speakers. I brought in a wealth of everything. I've got financial people. I've got recruiting people. I've got SEO people. I've got lawn care people. I've got people who are just experts in acquisitions because there's so much value in all that to help you grow your company. One way to help grow your company instead of just dumping money is go ahead and buy a company that's already been doing it. So Marvin's going to talk about how you can do that for free, not even pay the company to do it. Up front. Tommy Mello, if you never heard Tommy Mello speak, shame on you. That dude will just light a fire up under your ass. And he's just so real, raw, and authentic. Last year, I've heard Tommy speak last year. He really he hit home and touched my heart with his speech. And I'm excited to hear him again. That dude would just give you a shirt just to see you be successful. He wants to see so many people succeed and be millionaires. So just by following him alone will help you succeed in life. You'll be speaking, Angela will be speaking, I'll be speaking, Pat Clark, Mr. Sales Boost himself will be there. So just a wealth of knowledge and speakers. And there's more that I didn't list. Just it's 3 days, 2.5 days of action-packed speakers. But again, it comes down to the networking at night and the implementation while you're out there. If you're sitting here saying I can't charge this, my customers won't pay this. When you leave Sales Boost, you're gonna be like, my customers will pay this, and I'm gonna raise my prices right now because I'm gonna give them the value that they deserve. And you're really, at the end of the day, by cutting yourself short, you're cutting your business short, and just prolonging the success for your company because you're just working around the clock trying to do things you need to be doing. But if we just start building the confidence within ourselves, we can start implementing those things today and just take actionable steps tomorrow.
Awesome. Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to be there and see a bunch of these people. I mean, I've seen a bunch of them speak, but I'm really excited to see see a bunch of see so many more of them and more talks. I mean, because let's be real, right? They always have, it's always different stuff. Like, like if you see me speak last year at ClipCon, it's not going to be the same speech I do this year, right? Like we're always tweaking and changing things and making them different, and so that's what's awesome about it. And the sales boost is amazing, the wealth of knowledge, and like if you can just implement some of the stuff, you don't have to implement everything, right? Like that's the thing, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to implement everything. If you can implement one or two things, you could drastically change the trajectory of your business this year. And that's what's so cool about it, is like you could literally go from like this to like that. And like that's what you did with Conquer that year. We did the same thing when we joined Conquer. I went from like 575,000 to like 985,000 in a year, 1 year.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, it was crazy growth. Like,
and the biggest hurdle I hear from everybody is it's too expensive. I can't afford it right now. And the reality is you can't afford to not go, because you're going to keep doing the same things. You're going to keep spending money. You're going to keep doing the same marketing. You're going to keep giving the customer just an estimate for pressure washing and nothing else. So your average ticket's going to stay the same. Your closing percentage is going to stay the same. And you're just going to keep doing what you've been doing. And then you're going to wonder why all these other companies out there and people around you are so successful and growing their company. It's because they're actually out there doing this. They're investing in themselves. They're building themselves up personally and professionally by attending these trade shows, by building their tribe, by networking with people, by going to the different events and asking the questions and actually doing it. I mean, most of the stuff is out there for you to see and do. And for me, I love the events because it just fires me up and I get excited. But again, things are constantly changing, constantly evolving, and you're not going to stay up to date if you're not getting out and attend these shows. So,
well, it's an investment, right? It's an investment. So you got to look at it as like a marketing ROI in a way. Like if I put just this many dollars in, what can I hopefully expect out of it? And that's how you have to look at it, as it's an investment, that you don't look at it like I'm spending this money, I'm investing this money so I can get it out. That's why we took all four of us down to Ryan Lee's thing. That's an investment. We dropped a lot of money for four of us to go down there for that time. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we're doing. We're going all in on this. And so that's what you have to look at it as. It's an investment, and I want to become better. I want to better myself. And you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, and you owe it to your employees and your clients to become better and do this.
Yeah. So stop making excuses. I mean, if it's a financial issue, reach out to me. We'll do everything we can to, get you a ticket. We can figure out some payment options, because in the end, I want you to go. I want you to succeed. I want you, like Pat Clark gifted me with this opportunity. Didn't pay for me to go, like just by telling me about it 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I'd be selfish for me to not want to give the same opportunity to other people. So if it's a money issue, just go ahead and comment or just shoot me a message and we'll figure out something to get you there. But you need to be in these rooms. You need to be hearing these speakers. You need to be networking with other business owners that are there. It's just, like you said, it's an investment, not an expense. And I promise you, if you go and actually implement the things you learn, like you'll make your money back in the first week. And if you don't, it's probably because you didn't listen, you didn't implement it. But I've never seen a 1-star review for anybody talking about Sales Boost because there's just so much value out there. And it's not just for the owner operators. There's guys that go, Wesley and his team were out there last year. He's doing well over 7 figures. John Carmazin was out there well over 7 figures. So there's a lot of business out there doing over 7 figures that are still getting value out of it. And showing up for the right reason. So it's just, I'm not trying to beat the drum. I just really want people to be successful this year. And I know it's been a painful start for a lot of us, but if you can get there and get the right tools to be successful, then why not go? And what's the worst that can happen? You go to Wilmington, North Carolina and hang out with us, and we're going to do a fun run. Got some good food, some hot meals. We're not just doing boxed lunches. You get free breakfast, free lunch, networking, free drinks Wednesday night. Just tons of fun there. Tons of fun.
I mean, I can speak for myself, but I know a good bit of the speakers personally, and I know almost every single one of them. If you go up to them and talk to them and ask them questions, they're going to help you. Like we almost every single person that JC and Angela put together is they like to serve, and that's why they're up there talking, and that's why they do that, is because they want to help other people. So come to me, ask me a question, tell me. I'm an open book, right, JC? Like I really don't. I'll tell you where we. I mean, today I told you where we failed. I tell you where we did good. I mean, I have nothing to hide. Like, so I'll help you. I'll tell you. Like, we train people in Atlanta every year for Christmas lights. It's
Yep.
like it's not hurting us, you know, like so.
All right, let's figure out how we can do a free giveaway. Let me I gotta go over here and let me get rid of this and let me get rid of this. Let me pop this thing open. All right, we only got 3 people, so woo, you got a 33.3% chance of winning. Let me see. Present. Share screen window. Boom. All right. Well, let's see who's gonna win the sales boost ticket. Dun, dun, dun. Survey said April and James. All right.
go.
Awesome. Look at you guys coming here. I saw you share the post. Congrats, April and James. They got the music there. Applaud. So just get with me after this. And let me remove this. We will get with you guys and get you your free ticket and hopefully see you guys at Sale Boost. All right, Ryan. I appreciate you, man. I will see you on Monday. We are headed out to Denver, Colorado. I'm excited to get to fly into Atlanta, and then from Atlanta, you and myself and Brett will head out to Colorado.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. Oh, by the way, we have a booth for sales booth for Beyond the Bulb. So if anybody wants to ask us any questions, then Brett will be around. I'll be there. So ask JC, whoever about it. We'll all be there, and you can come talk to us. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and congrats to awesome. This is so cool. I love being able to bless people. So we're excited, and I'll be giving away another ticket tonight on. Oh boy, I don't even know what it is. I'm sorry. I'll be on at 9 o'clock tonight, way past my bedtime. I'll be on doing a live tonight. So
you've been on live all day.
I know. I've got this is my second. I got 3 today and 3 other calls today. So it's been a busy day on my computer, but it's cool. I love talking to people like yourself. So I appreciate you, Ryan. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you soon. And to all our viewers, take care.